What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Beyond Business Collective. I'm super excited to have you with us. We're obviously reviewing your application right now. And in the meantime, I wanted to get you started on a training that we can get you started right away to kind of restart the way you think about your business, how we can take you from a blue ocean or out of a red ocean into a blue ocean and have new opportunities to really open up the potential for your business, okay? And so, something that was fundamental in my business, a little backstory, was this idea of a red ocean and a blue ocean, okay? Originally, this idea came from Kim Morburn, I believe, and it was called the Blue Ocean Strategy. And essentially, in that book, she talked about how, as business has progressed, as we've grown in this world of business, the competition has gotten pretty fierce, okay? And a lot of new ideas, well, a lot of businesses have, like chiropractic business. I came from the fitness industry, the gym business, and there's a lot of competition, a lot of people doing the same thing. And when there's a lot of people doing the same thing, people start to price shop, and you become a commodity, and it's kind of a race to the bottom. And this is super unfortunate because obviously us small business owners, we need to create as much profit as possible in order to grow and keep in healthy business to where we can continue to serve our customers, obviously. And if we're not making a profit and we're constantly losing money and we're going into this battle of price shopping, then it's just a race to the bottom until our business has to inevitably shut down, and then we can no longer continue our journey of our purpose, or serving our customers at the highest level and actually giving the world and providing the world what we were here to put on this earth for. Okay, and so my job here at Beyond Business Collective is to teach you these things that I have learned, the lessons that I've learned in my business, what has worked, what hasn't worked, and has been able to propel us to the places that we are today, as well as using a bunch of different other business models and other businesses to test these theories and create these structures and frameworks that can be proven no matter what industry or what business you're in. Okay, so going back to the red ocean, blue ocean, red oceans are one that is, we're in obviously in Hampton Roads, and there's a ton of other businesses trying to do what we want to do, whether we're a barber, a chiropractor, whether we're in the the teaching space, whether we're in you name it, whatever it is, like tax pros, like there's probably a dozen other businesses in the same area competing on the same thing that you're competing for, okay, and saying that you provide the same services that they provide. And it really comes down to, what is the price? Okay, are we charging hourly? Are we charging a monthly membership rate? So for us, we charge at the gym, we were charging a monthly fee, and that's pretty standard across the industry. But how can we change what we offer and put us into a new blue ocean, one that's open and free of any competition, to where we can actually change the rules of engagement? So instead of comparing apples to apples, okay, and shopping on price, how can we change this game and the mindset of the customer of comparing apples to oranges? Okay, at that point, when we're comparing two different things, we're not placed in this box of what's expected as far as price and expected as far as service. We actually remove ourselves from that and we play a new game, okay? And the benefit here is that when we're playing a new game, nobody can compete against us. And if they choose to compete against us, then we are already the kings of that category, the queens of that category. We're already the ones there who have developed the rules and developed the structure. And now they're playing by our rules. So inevitably, it will be very difficult for them to now come into our arena and start to take over what we're doing, okay? So do y'all see the power in this? Like, when we really start to step out of that red ocean and start to move into a blue ocean, we create our own opportunities. We create a new framework for people to start to study and understand our business, okay? And if it's different from the rest, then they no longer put us in a box with the rest and compare us to the rest and try to price shop, okay? So the point of this training is to get us out of that red ocean and start to create the new orange, okay? We want to figure out how can we structure your service in a way that becomes an orange, okay? So we're no longer compared to the apples. And this is the very first thing, no matter if you're just starting, which is super important, or if you've grown to, 500,000, a million, like, it doesn't matter, because you can take what you've already done and what has worked, and now you're actually more experienced in what your customers need, and we can repackage that in a new way, okay? And so to do that, we're going to use the iPad, so I'm going to be looking down for some of this. to kind of paint this picture. Okay, so let's use an example that I had with a business owner a few days ago. It was a tutoring business, and the typical was $20-$30 an hour. And you think about other care providers, teachers, babysitters, all that, they were also on care.com, and how people shop on there. You shop with reviews. Obviously, you want to have a proven model, but they also look at what's the price. How much does it cost? Okay, well, if somebody's $25 an hour and somebody's $12.50, and if they're shopping on price and y'all both have 3 5-star reviews and you both provide, the same kind of care, you're going to watch the child with no separate or nothing else to go with it, then you kind of box yourself into they're going to price shop and they'll probably take the cheapest one. Okay, and so what we were doing with that model is moving away from that structure of the typical hourly rate and creating a new offer. Okay, and so we'll say typical here is $20 an hour for tutoring services. Sorry, handwriting is crazy. Tutoring services. Okay, and at that point you're really just competing on what are they tutoring? Okay, so for this example, we were pre-K to 5th grade. All right, and so now if we're walking in or we're looking for a tutor and say we need to understand who our ideal customer is. Okay, so she already has a following, and she found that most of her students and that she enjoyed the most were between kindergarten, so pre-K, and 3rd grade. Okay, this was the sweet spot, and we were walking down this path. And I was like, okay, well, what subjects were the most frequently seen? Okay, so how can we take what you already want to do? So what is your big picture item? Who do you want to serve? Like, what do you do? Are you a barber? Okay, you want to cut hair. But now the first step is this pre-K to 5th grade. Who do we want to cut? Do we want to cut males, females? Okay, and then from that age, do we want to cut styles or do we want to cut kind of maintenance? Okay, and so for this instance, we do pre-K to 3rd grade. And from there, what subjects? So she noticed that pre-K to 1st, we were actually was reading. Okay, she called it phonics. So reading, learning how to read was the big topic there. And 2nd and 3rd, we wanted math, and those were the big issues there. So moving into 2nd and 3rd grade, students are starting to pick up math, and now that becomes the new toughest thing. And so okay, so we've gone from pre-K in 5th grade to now we have pre-K in 1st and 2nd and 3rd grade. Now we can kind of start to target these things because now we have pre-K reading, 2nd and 3rd grade math. Okay, and all right, so now, how do we bring this to somebody? So understand, like, put yourself, you're having a conversation with someone a potential client, and they ask you, okay, well, what do you do? Well, we got to figure out, like, we want to target that message. Oh, I do tutoring pre-K to 5th. You see how that kind of, it's a blanket statement. It's not very targeted to where now, if you understand that they have a 3rd grader who has a D in math, now you can say, well, I tutor 2nd and 3rd graders and my specialty is in math. Okay, now we're starting to get a little more specific. It's starting to make a little clearer picture to where now it's more targeted. Now, okay, well, it sounds like you have exactly what I want. And so the whole point of this is to really niche down and figure out what the specific person that we can target, okay? And understand, this doesn't mean that we're going to disregard everybody else. This doesn't mean that she'll never be able to have another 5th grader or 4th grader or 3rd grader, or in a different subject. All it is you want to create an offer so strong and so targeted that when they do start to come into your business, they know it's for you. They know it's for them. And then from there, you can tack on these additional things. So now say we get that 3rd grader who needed help in math. Now they start to trickle in history. They're not going to go find somebody else for history. They're with you already. And at that point, that's when you can start to segue into teaching history, teaching English, teaching science, and different categories of your tutoring. But we're going to hook them on the ones that we're specifically speaking to. Okay? So the 3rd grader for math is where we're at. And now, when somebody comes in, you got to think, like, how do you feel when you get into a continuous ongoing charge, okay? And you come in, you have an issue, so say we want to increase the grades of our 3rd grader in math. If we have an open-ended, it's kind of unclear on when that should be accomplished. When should those grades go up? And if we're paying a recurring fee, it kind of, I don't know, it just leaves it very open and vague. Okay, now imagine if we were to narrow this down for the start and an end date. Okay, what that would allow us to do is have an initial pre-test and a final test to show definitively, okay, you came to me to increase your students' grade, and this is where they started, and now this is where they finished, and we can definitively and quantitatively show how much grade points they went up in their math skills. Okay, and so it creates a lot of structure and opportunity to test and prove that what they came to you for was completed. And so what we decided was 9 weeks, because in the academic world, this is actually a pretty common time frame as far as semesters and grade when the report cards come out. So we were choosing 9 weeks because every time a report card comes out, that's the week that we're going to launch a new opening, and then we'll start the following week, and then that way we can stay on this cadence to where we know that the parents' desire to get a tutor is going to be the highest when the grade students come out, and I mean when the students' grades come out, and at that point we'll sign them up and then get them started on the tutoring for that next 9 weeks. So now we've gone from pre-K, 5th grade, down to 2 separate segments with 2 separate what are these called? 2 separate classes. I don't know. So reading and math category, and we're over a 9-week period. And what we're going to do is we are going to create. What we did was we know that parents are going to be the highest opportunity here. They're going to need to be the ones that need to be the most engaged, because obviously the kid wants to improve their skills, but the parent is more concerned about their skills improving. And so we need to make sure that we keep them in the loop for tutoring. So what we've done is we've set up three one-on-ones with the parent. And in those meetings, we're going to make sure that everything's going right, show them what we have for the next 3 weeks, and show them what they've done over the last 3 weeks. And if there's any specific assignments or anything coming up, we will make sure that we put those into our 2 weekly one-on-ones, 1 tutoring sessions with the students. Okay, so when we have those sessions, that's going to be the breakout. So talking further with them, they say that the parents they're more concerned with the homework. So when they do tutoring, they send you the homework, so it's very individualized on what your student is, trying to accomplish at that period, and it's usually going over the homework. And so during those sessions, that's when we can break off and have one-on-one attention to teach and work through those specific homework assignments. And in addition to that, we'll have 1 weekly classroom session. Okay, and this is where we could teach the brunt of it. So we know that we're talking to 2nd and 3rd graders in math now because we've niched down. And so we can teach the same thing across the board to all of these students, knowing that we're going to build a foundation across the board. And that's when we can now, and all the stuff that we would find ourselves repeating to all the students, we can now teach it once, and then we'll have the break-off sessions later in the week to dive in on the specific stuff. Okay, and now, so just think, we've created now a 9-week structure with 3 one-on-one sessions with the parents that we're going to figure out what they want to accomplish and what we're going to work on over the next 3 weeks, as well as what the student has accomplished over the last 3 weeks. So they'll get clear progress reports. We're going to do 2 weekly one-on-one sessions where they're going to accomplish or work on their homework specifically, so it's very individualized. And we're going to do a weekly classroom to where we can minimize the amount of repeat we have, lay a foundation, and then branch off and work on individual stuff. And that's weekly. And then to really sweeten this deal, to show that we know what we're talking about, we're going to actually add a guarantee a 1 grade increase over 9 weeks. Okay? And so now, do you see, we've started on a $20 an hour tutoring service for pre-K to 5th grade, to now we offer a 9-week tutoring program for 2nd and 3rd graders focused on math. We're going to have 3 one-on-one parent sessions to make sure that you're on board. We're going to show you where your student has progressed, what we have for the next 3 weeks, as well as any individual things that you want us to work on with them over the next 3 weeks. We're going to have 2 weekly one-on-one sessions where we're going to break off and work on homework, test assignments, projects, anything dire coming up, and as well as 1 weekly classroom session where we'll go over all the foundation and we'll teach all the foundational things that they need to know over the next week before we do the break off sessions. In that, we're actually going to guarantee that your student increases 1 grade point average or 1 grade over this 9-week course. Now that is how you would shift from an hourly rate to now a program, because a program like this we can easily charge $9.97 or even $19.97 for a program like this, okay? And we'll test different, and that's a whole different pricing strategy and testing and seeing where the prices lie. But do you see the difference now? So I'm looking for a tutor, and now I'm searching on care.com for an hourly rate with some reviews compared to now this program is what I can offer you. Okay, I'm hoping y'all seeing this. It's kind of subtle, but it's really not. Like, we're completely shifting. Nothing changes as far as what you would provide for the student. So yes, if they came through a care.com and they selected you for an hourly rate, yes, these are the things that you would do. But the picture isn't clear on the start from the get-go, because now when we know the structure of this, we can now add things, take things away, and actually improve this offer. So if we know that this is what we're going to give them, now we can have a pre-application package or a post-application package, or we can move them into, once they complete the math, now the next step is English, okay? And because or whatever the next subject matter that becomes a problem in the 4th and 5th grade. So now we know 2nd and 3rd grade we've improved their math, but next year when they go to 4th grade, science becomes an issue. And so now this is our science course that's coming up next. And we're not in we do $20 an hour. I hope this is making sense. And so for a barber, for example, you come in and you check the price. You have the board on the wall. You come in for a haircut. Is it $15 a haircut? $25 a haircut? Okay, well, I'm getting a haircut. And that's really it. You go and you sit down, they throw the thing around you, they snip up your hair, and then you leave. But what are things that you can add on to that? There's a place here locally called Jake's Place, okay? And I haven't been there, but I heard that when they go in, they give you a beer. It's 4 guys. They go in, they give you a beer, they style you up, give you a barber cut, they lay a warm towel on you, and they let you kind of relax and watch the games and whatever. But do you see how that's different from a quick Great Clips where you just walk in, get a cut, and then leave? What are things that you can do in your business to create a better experience, okay? And then if you understand the experience, package them all into one deal. So now so when you walk into Great Clips, you're going to get a haircut, it's $20. But now when you walk into Jake's Place, maybe it's $40. But now you get this experience, okay? It's no longer just a haircut. Yes, you'll leave with a haircut, but you're going to leave with so much more. You're going to leave with an experience that was different. And now Jake's Place is no longer a haircuttery where you're comparing Great Clips to Jake's Place. Now you go there for 2 different reasons, okay? Yes, they both cut hair, but you go there for 2 different reasons. You've now separated yourself from the red ocean, where it's, okay, this is you walk in and get a haircut, now who charges the least, to now this is a separate experience, this is the high end. You've created a much higher end business, okay? And this is extremely fundamental, and this is the first thing that we work on in any business. So just think, whatever business, and these are businesses here, local, in Hampton Roads, what are things that you can do so for our example, we were a gym, okay, and we did a lot of different things, and so most people expect you come into a gym. So we were actually a CrossFit gym, and we already were kind of, our model is a little more high experience. So it's not like a Planet Fitness where you charge $10, $15 a month. This was more, $200 to $250 a month. And that may seem crazy, but what would come with that is a much better experience. So now all of the classes were coach-led. So you'll never come into a class without having a coach leading you every step of the way. So you don't need to guess what the workout is. You don't need to worry about how form goes. You don't need to worry about programming and if this is working, if this isn't. All that stuff is laid out for you and presented to you when you walk into the door. You just show up. As far as nutrition, all of that stuff was handled for you. So instead of going to a Planet Fitness, walking around, wondering what to do, how to do it, and then going home wondering what to eat and searching, healthy foods online, now we actually lay out a complete grocery list for you, meal plan, show you when to eat, what to eat, how much to eat, and we actually made videos showing preparing food for our meal plan. So you can leave with everything that you need to know as far as what to eat and making it as simple as possible. And we also had additional levels to that, to where we can have a dietitian looking over his shoulder, holding you accountable every single week, doing weigh-ins and making sure, troubleshooting anything that's coming up along the way. Or complete done-for-you meals where we just send you everything. We send you the meals to your doorstep, 3 meals a day, 1 shake, to where you don't have to think about anything. You just eat it, and they're already dialed into your macros, your calories, to where you're losing weight. Then in addition, we give you free chiropractic services, and we do accountability. We check in with you every week. We do weigh-ins every 3 weeks to make sure that everything's on track. We do community events to where we bring everybody together, so you have a reason to show up to the gym, and it's all that's orchestrated, so you have friends, and the accountability level goes much higher, because if you have somebody waiting on you, you're more likely to show up. If you're going to a Planet Fitness, you got your headphones on, everybody's looking down, not trying to make eye contact. This is opposite. We don't have headphones. We play music on our stereo or our speakers, so when you come in, that barrier is already down. Everybody acknowledges you by name, and it becomes more of a friend group than just a place where you go work out. And now, do you see how this is like elevating? This offer is elevating more and more and more, because if you're going somewhere to actually lose weight, do you think you're going to lose weight at a Planet Fitness or at Somnium Fitness, the way I just showed you? Like, that's the service. Do you think you would be more successful doing it all yourself, and just renting equipment, or having somebody show you how to do all of it, and having a friends group and a community that's going to actually motivate you to show up, and they all are all on the same path to the same place? Do you think that would be more powerful in getting you there? The answer is yes, okay? And that's why people are willing to stay 5, 6, 7 years. We've only been open 6 years. So from day one, for paying $250 a month. And it's because it's a completely different experience, okay? And so the point of this training is I want you to open your mind up to what is possible, and what are some things that you could offer to your members to increase their experience, to get them from point A to where they ultimately want to be with your business and what you provide, to make your offer unique, okay? That will separate you from the pack to where you can charge whatever you want, because you are no longer in this rat race of the race to the bottom, okay? You're no longer a commodity. You are a standalone, a unique, magical snowflake, and it's a completely different game. And so I please beg you to give this a try. Spend 10, 15 minutes. Just write down all the things that you can think of that can make this experience better, okay? Then we can work on the tactical stuff on how to implement this, how to package this, put a start and an end date on it, and really dial in who you're looking for at first. Because once you dial in exactly who you're trying to attract and you have that direct message, you can then start to give them everything else, okay? So for us, I told you everything that we offer. People don't come in for nutrition. People aren't excited by nutrition, but people see workouts and they get excited, and in their mind, they think that that's what's going to get them there, okay? We know as fitness professionals that the nutrition is probably more important than the actual workout, okay? But we can't sell that. And so for you, we're selling, and for this example that we had with the tutor, we were selling the pre-K. I mean, we're selling the 3rd grade math, all right? Not the pre-K tutoring, $20 an hour, okay? So target what you're going to be selling, and then we can offer them all the other things down the road as they need them, all right? So anyway, I hope this helps. If you want help with this, bring this up in our initial meeting. You've already submitted. That's why you have access to this training. And this is what we'll be working on day one. All right, talk soon.